Hello, everyone, and welcome to Coffee with Innove Finance, our podcast series where we speak to industry leaders on financial innovation and fintech. Our podcasts are available on Spotify, Apple Music, and Google Podcasts. My name is Roberto Napolitano. I am the Director of Marketing and Communications at Innove Finance. And today I'm delighted to be joined by Nick Crosby, Director of Compliance and UK Operations at Indebted. Indebted is changing the world of consumer debt recovery for good. Businesses of all sizes, from startups to enterprises, use Indebted intelligent collections product, Collect, to increase recoveries, see faster liquidation, and empower their customers. Nick, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Fantastic. So let's start this conversation with a few more details on Indebted. Can you tell us more about this fantastic organization and what was the original idea behind it?
Yeah, absolutely. So Indebted is a tech-driven debt collection agency. We're based globally, so our head office and our origins are in Australia, but we're now pretty much everywhere in the world. The business started due to our owner and chairperson, Josh, doing some work with a client, and part of that work was dealing with different kinds of debt collection agencies and the whole collections process in Australia, and something twigged in Josh's head, going, well, this isn't quite right. This needs to change, and we need to change the way that the world perceives debt collection and debt collection agencies, and to give consumers that extra level of protection and to handle their accounts. So that's where Indebted was born, and we've gone from strength to strength ever since. Started out in Australia, as I think everyone's aware now that we're in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, the US, and the UK, and looking to expand more globally as we grow.
Fantastic. Thank you, Nick. So talking about when you started Indebted, what challenges did you face and what opportunities did you have first in Australia and then in these other markets that you expanded to, so Canada, the US, and the UK?
So I think the first challenge that everyone came across when we were trying to expand is the fact that we do things that little bit differently to a very traditional model of work. So a lot of debt collection globally is done in a very traditional sort of linear way of doing things. So you would have a couple of letters sent, some phone calls made. You might send a few emails, but everything was very much dictated. This is how it goes down a line. Whereas Indebted came across and went, well, we want to disrupt that, and we want to start making it machine learning led, and we want to try and make it easier for consumers to be able to touch base how they want to. So rather than just having the option of having to call in, a customer could self-serve, and they could sort everything out themselves without actually speaking to another human being. So the challenge really was going to market and saying to people, hey, there is a different way, when the way has been so clearly defined for years. And I think that was our opening global challenge. Going into different markets across the world, obviously there's different regulations and there's different ways that you can and can't do things. So there has to be improvements and adjustments made to the platform accordingly, just to make sure that the platform does operate correctly in every country that we operate in. But so far so good. And it's been widely used, and yeah, we're making headways into all the markets we're in.
Great, thank you very much, Nick. So definitely something of interest is machine learning. It's super interesting, actually, that you're using machine learning. Can you tell us more about your customers? So the people that are actually using your platform and how they're using it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a number of different customers from different levels and different sort of organizations. So I suppose to begin with, our we have clients and we have customers. So our clients are the financial, utility, and telecoms businesses and service providers that use us as a debt collection agencies. And we then have our customers who are also our clients' customers. We treat our clients' customers as our customers. So we have customers from all different walks of life, different demographics, different age groups, you name it, we've got them, because we touch base on so many different sorts of markets. You have your high end credit card debt, you have utility debts, so gas and electric, telecoms debt. We also we service accounts where people are on food subscriptions, as an example. So it's a very varied bag. What we do find though with our platform is giving the customers the tools by just being able to log in, looking at their balance, looking at how they can sort things out, that a majority of our customers now self-serve. So they're not put under any undue pressure. They've got time to do things. They've got time to look at their situation. They've got time to look at what's going on with them personally, and set up an arrangement or pay the account off in full in a time and a manner that suits them better.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you very much. This is actually very relevant because, as everybody knows, we are living through a cost of living crisis with very high inflation, interest rates going up. So I think the next question could be about how can indebted in particular, but also the industry, the fintech industry, better support consumers that are in debt, that are actually facing financial difficulties right now.
So I think some of the most important factors around dealing with customers at the moment is we need to understand that the whole macroeconomic situation, the whole world is an upheaval when it comes down to finances, economies. It's a scary time to be alive, and it's a scary time to potentially fall into debt. And we're finding more and more people are falling into debt. And so we're very lucky as an industry that we have some very strong regulators. So, for example, in the UK, we have the Financial Conduct Authority, the FCA, who have launched the new Consumer Duty, which just asks businesses to take a step back, look at what they have and make it better for consumers. Now, what I believe is the most important thing that we can do for consumers now is give them the tools that they need to be able to look at their overall circumstances. So, as an example, in the UK, we have an affordability assessment tool that customers can use when looking at their financial situation. It allows them to look holistically at everything. And I think that's the important part as well, is giving someone the opportunity to look at something holistically. So not just from a skewed point of view, but their whole overall circumstances, where a customer can go in, they can spend time doing something. So for example, with their income and expenditure, they can spend time and they can go back to it. So if you had a phone call and you've got someone on the phone and they're going, right, let's go through this, customer may feel a little bit rushed. They may feel that they're just picking figures off the top of their heads. You've got to give them time. You've got to give a customer the knowledge, or give them the ability to go and look at everything and come back to it. It's also a lot easier, I suppose, from our side, is that we obviously want the best outcome for the customer. So if a customer does find themselves one of the easiest triggers of vulnerability is from the financial side for us to track. So if a customer does fail the income and expenditure assessment, that they are taken to a page where they're given a number of debt charities that they can contact, the account automatically placed on hold for them to take time to actually contact those customers. Now, that's something that's driving our entire business model, and our entire ethos of doing things, that we want to make sure that customers have everything that they need in front of them to make a decision, and then to back that customer's decision. So it's not pushing back too hard on the customer to say, no, we think you're making the wrong decision here. It's supporting them, and if things change, giving the customer the ability to be able to go back and do it again, and not feel that we're going to, I hate to say tell them off, but to understand that they have that flexibility to come back in and to relook at things. Another very important thing that we've implemented, and I think that as an industry we all need to make sure that we're implementing, is whilst indebted, we're digital first, that doesn't mean that we're 100% digital. So part again of the consumer duty is making sure that customers can contact you in a way that the customer feels comfortable doing so. So we we offer as a business a omni-channel approach. So we have email, SMS, live chat, phone call. If a letter needs to be sent, a letter needs to be sent. It's just working around a customer and creating that customer journey for that person. So where the machine learning, I suppose, jumps into that is at the moment we have something over 210 million touch points now, of different customer information, and where we can start building bespoke customer journeys for each person. And I think that's also really important, is making sure that the communications, that the way that you deal with the customer is bespoke to that individual, to make sure that they are in a position to make the best decision for themselves.
That's great. Thank you, Nick. I think this is really about helping consumers and customers being more aware of the finances as well. So a lot of fintechs that we're working with, some of our members, they're really providing solutions to consumers to help them manage their money, manage their debt as well, and being aware of financial situation a little bit more. And that's great. It is really great to see so much proactivity from the fintech ecosystem in the UK specifically, and this is really a testament to the strength of the whole ecosystem. So thank you for this interesting approach from Indebted. Now, talking about you as the director of compliance and UK operations, I'm sure it's a busy job, and it's a challenging job as well. So can you tell our listeners what do you do on a daily basis? What's your team working on at the moment, and what keeps you kind of awake at night these days?
So what keeps me awake at night, to be honest, is my 3 children, but that's a different story altogether.
Okay.
Look, what my job entails is making sure that one, we have a presence in the UK, which I believe is really important for us to be here, with the service that we provide. It's to make sure that we're doing everything that we can do to support the customers in the UK. Like I said, the UK has a very strong regulatory body, has a number of very strong UK regulatory bodies, that we need to make sure that we're adhering to their regulations. That's obviously part of it, making sure, but it's taking that and making it as practical for our consumers and our customers as possible. So what we're working on in the UK specifically at the moment is growth. So that's to grow the people that we're working with at the moment. It's to take the product that we have and start making it better than it already is. So we're updating the website, we're continuously doing work on the portal and the product to make it better. But yeah, so at the moment, what my team and I were working on is expanding the relationships we already have with clients in the UK, working to their specs, and just trying to, before we start rapid growth again in an onboarding new clients, is making sure that we've revisited and we are even happier with the app that we're already very happy with.
Great, thank you, Nick. And actually, that leads me to the next question, is about talent, right? So talent in fintech, you're a fintech, and sometimes it might be challenging to attract and retain the right talent. So you mentioned you're building the website, you're updating your platform, you have growth plans for the next months. So what's your maybe suggestion in terms of how you can attract and retain talent in fintech, especially for Indebted in the UK and globally? You have a very global team.
We do have a very global team. So I think that's the first thing, is with the globalization of everything and the way it's going, you don't just need to limit yourself to one specific location to find the talent. So at Indebted, as an example, we run a fully remote workspace. So everybody is allowed to work from home. all the time, which means we have people not just that, we have people that lived in Australia have now gone to go work in Canada for the next year because they can, because of our setup. It's meant that we've been able to recruit engineers in South Africa. It means that we have people all over the world. Obviously, as a business, what you want to make sure is, especially in the business that we're in, is it's not just about finding people that you think can get the job done, which is obviously an important thing, but it's also finding people who believe in your work ethos, believe in what you're doing and what the product actually is and what the end goal is. So you can get anybody to, I suppose, with the right skill set to design an app, to design a product, and that's all good and dandy. But to make it a real success, you need to go cut through that and get to the people who are passionate about what you do and what it is that you want to achieve. And that's why, especially at Indebted, our ethos and the way that we do things is very, very important when we're vetting people, is to make sure that everybody is on the same journey as we are, which is ultimately to erase the stigma of people being in debt and making the world an easier place for people who may have financial issues.
Thank you, Nick. Yes, that's definitely that's a strong point. Like aligning to company values, company culture is even more important than actually having the skills to do the job, because you can learn the skills to do the job, but sometimes you're not aligning to the company values. That's what you mentioned about the ethos of Indebted, which is great actually. So shall we maybe finish this podcast with something exciting? Is there any upcoming projects or any exciting news that you want to share with our listeners?
Well, firstly, the new website's going to be out soon. So that's very exciting. The guys have done a absolutely stellar job. And it is, the new website's going to be incredible. Some other big news that we've had in the last few months. So we've now reached over 1.5 million customers globally, which is absolutely crazy, and set up over 200,000 payment plans. We, as a debt collection agency, at the end of last year, we crossed over one of our goals, which was to get 2,000 5-star Google reviews, which I know to some business they may go, well, that's not a lot. We're a debt collection agency. And I think that speaks volumes about the culture and the ethos that people, once that they've had the opportunity to use our services, turn around and go, wow, that isn't what I expected. And we've got 55 new product features that are coming out. From a UK point of view, we are in conversations with a current client about a new project that we have going with them to help them reach out to even more customers, which I can't share too much about that or names, but that's going to be a very big project in the UK in the next few months that we're very, very excited about.
That's fantastic, and congratulations on all these amazing achievements. So that's great. Well done to Indebted and to your team. I believe that's all for this episode. So I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. Please keep an eye out for our upcoming episodes. Or our podcasts are available on our website at innovatefinance.com for many more insights on fintech and financial innovation. I'd like to thank once again our guest today, Nick Crosby, Director of Compliance and UK Operations at Indebted.
Thank you very much.
And thanks everyone again at home or in the office for listening in. Join us next time for Coffee with Innovate Finance. It is bye for now.